Hello and welcome to this week's reading for Aries. This will be anybody with an Aries sun sign and also anybody who has Aries prominently in their chart, whether it be your ascendant, your moon, or some other very prominent placement. This could also apply to you. This is going to be a reading, and I'm going to do this from November 5th through November 12th, 2023. Of course, whenever you access this reading is probably when you are meant to watch it, if you are drawn to it. And the way that I do these readings is I will start with a general horoscope spread using these cards, which are cartouche cards. And I will take the cartouche and I will go a second round with tarot. And today I am using the Aquarian tarot deck for this reading. So let's dive into what Aries needs to know for this week. Okay, now let's shuffle tarot and see what tarot has for you for this week. We had Saturn in Pisces that has gone direct this week. So think about if you know your chart and you know where Pisces is in your chart, if that is an area that has been held up for you, the good news is that Saturn going direct means that we can take a realistic look at things and get some work done now. And now we have a chance to maybe finally move ahead on projects that have been stalled. Okay, so let's see what we have. I'm going to want to have you could elucidate these houses for me for Aries, please. Okay. Okay. Try to see what we have right now. Wow, okay. And then let's just see what our overall is. Wow, okay. So this looks very good for you this week, Aries. If we start in the first house, which is the house of Aries, you've got the Seven of Pentacles with the Ankh. And this to me represents the idea that you are currently doing some reevaluation. You are trying to see what's going to work for you, what you need to keep, what you need to throw out. Seven of Pentacles always has to do with whether or not the efforts we are making are worth our time. And with the Ankh here, I mean, this seems to indicate that, being in a very happy frame of mind, or if this has not been a particularly happy week for you, Ankh would have to do with focusing on the things that you love, focusing on self-love, focusing on what is actually beneficial to you rather than you taking on the burdens of other people. You need to think about that. And I feel like with the Seven of Pentacles, you may be in a position where you are taking on an awful lot. You are taking on a lot of work, or you may be doing things that you feel are to your benefit, or perhaps are going to, I don't know, perhaps they're going to benefit you financially, or you may feel that this is something that's going to help another person. But the bottom line is what you're doing right now something that's actually good for you? Is it involved in your self-care and your self-love? Are you doing things because you feel, well, this is what I must do, or this is what I have to do? And that's pretty strongly what I feel with the Seven of Pentacles here. You may be in a point of trying to evaluate what you're doing. And yeah, when we look at the second house of Taurus here, this is the house of your money. And winged disc, I mean, yeah, this is great news financially. This is, if there's financial problems or difficulties, this certainly suggests being successful in overcoming them. You have it, though, with the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is somebody who is keeping a lot of plates spinning. I mean, this person, is holding this, and a lot of times this is also shown as this person sort of juggling these two pentacles. So there is a sense of needing to go with the flow. We see the water in the background here. So there's definitely a sense of flow with this card. But Two of Pentacles often, there's only so long that you can keep up that juggling act. At some point, one of these pentacles has to go, has to drop down. So you may not be at that point yet. This may be where you're multitasking and trying to do a number of things. And you've been pretty successful at it. This is something that has yielded results, or is certainly going to yield results. But there will be decisions that need to be made in the future when it comes to your finances. Now, the third house has to do with Gemini energy, which has to do with communication, can have to do with technology, can also have to do with business if you run your own business, and sometimes this can apply to siblings as well, because that's what the third house of the astrological chart is ruled. It rules all of those things. And we have the twins here. So for some people, this could mean a business partnership or getting somebody to help out with something in business. It can also mean an important communication. Twins can do with any kind of partnership. It can be a close friendship, it can be a love relationship, and like I said, it can be a business partnership. And again, if it has to do with siblings, this could have to do with some kind of work that you do with one of your siblings. You take it as it resonates. It's not going to be for everybody. But we have it with the Eight of Rods. And this is a card of communication in the house of communication. And this is communication coming in fast. It's things that happen very, very swiftly. These are the arrows that are moving fast. These are also sometimes called the arrows of love. So it is quite possible that has to do with a love communication that is coming in for some people. But these Eight of Rods suggests to me that, that things are about to get moving. And this may be why you need to reprioritize and to think about some things. And also with the twins, this could either be the influence of another person that maybe the message is from them that is allowing things to speed up, or this may be the suggestion that working with another person is going to be to your benefit here. So again, take that as it resonates, but there's very, very strong messages of communication and working with others here in the house of communication. So keep that in mind. Fourth house has to do with your home. It's the house of Cancer, and it has, and so this would have to do with your domestic space, the place that you live, but it also has to do with potentially the mother, and also just potentially your own sense of security and how you feel about yourself, how secure you feel. And with the Four of Cups and Sirius here, it seems to me like you've been working very hard. Again, Sirius is definitely this card of hard work. We're seeing this element of hard work. And in the house of security, it suggests to me that you may have had concerns about your financial security. You may be spending a lot of time at home doing a lot of work, whether this be physical labor, because Sirius sometimes does have to do with physical activity and things that are physical, or whether it's just a lot of mental endurance that you've been dealing with. It's not anything that you can't handle. I mean, Sirius is definitely a card of strength, but there's also the sense of needing to think outside the box. Sirius is it's Aquarius energy, and it's considered to be part of the Aquarian future. So they'll talk about futuristic thinking, like thinking what things can I use to make things more efficient? How can I look at a problem or situation that I have from a different perspective? Okay, so this is about broadening your perspective. And with the Four of Cups, you want to make sure you're not missing an opportunity here. When this cup is being held out to this person and they're not looking at it, this tends to be a card of dissatisfaction and not wanting to, just sort of ruminating maybe on the things that are in front of you and not looking at what might be being held out to you. So don't be afraid to look up at this other cup. There may be somebody who's offering you something. Something maybe being held out to you in some way that will actually help you in reestablishing your security. That may be part of the way in which you have to think differently here. The fifth house is Leo energy, and this has to do with love affairs potentially, with children if you have children, and also with creative projects. Usually this is a house of creativity and sometimes your leisure time, what you're doing for vacation, holiday, to relax. And yeah, Bastet definitely, somebody here could be working literally in music or dance or something like that, because this is a card that is connected to those things. But Bastet is also a card of happiness, of enjoyment. So there definitely seems to be this idea that I feel like goes along with the themes that we're seeing over here, with certainly with the Ankh here in the first house, is this idea that you need to be spending time out. You need to take time out to play, to relax, to enjoy, to spend time with friends, to allow that part of life to come in and not to just be involved in a lot of drudgery, okay? But you also got the Ace of Pentacles. So this has to do with usually new opportunities. Again, I feel like it's connected to this hand that's being held out over here. The Ace of Pentacles seems to indicate potentially a new financial opportunity that could come out of a creative venture. And it can also just have to do with, with a new financial opportunity, a new project, a new thing that you want to work on. Sometimes, again, as far as love affairs go, this can sometimes indicate a new relationship as well. One in which, maybe is going to come from a situation where you are out, partying or having a good time or something like that. That there's this idea of being social here, that there could be something new that develops there. And that obviously is not going to be for everybody, but for some people that might apply. And again, in terms of children, I mean, any of these things could apply to somebody's children as well. Certainly the idea of, again, if you have a child that has been, struggling and working very hard, they may need to take some kind of a break. You may need to be a new way of looking at things or doing things. So 6th house has to do with Virgo energy, and this is related to our health. It's related to our service, generally the kind of work that we do in service to others. So it may be something that we do as a job that may or may not be connected to our career. I always use this as the house of job versus the house of career. And it can also have to do with, as I said, health, I think I mentioned, and then domestic pets as well, and your worries and anxieties. So this is all covered by Virgo. And yeah, we've got justice. So there's definitely a need here to balance things. We have it with fire. And fire is about burning up what no longer serves us. It's also about being inspired to do something new. So yeah, so you've got fire here. I think there could be a lot of intensity right now. This may be creating a lot of worry. It may be creating a lot of undue stress that we see over here. And so with justice, I think it's saying that there's a need for balance here. There may also be a need for truth. You may need to be, with again, as I mentioned, with Saturn and Pisces, there's a sense here that we need to start looking at things realistically. And again, go this process of trying to burn up or get rid of the rubbish that is no longer serves us, that is no longer working for us. This also, being it's a house of health too, it may be suggesting that you may be a bit tired and worn out. You may be burning the candle at both ends, so to speak, and you may need some time to get yourself back in balance. The 7th house has to do with relationships. This is Libra energy. It can also have to do with partnerships of all kinds, business, legal partnerships, and so forth. And we have Anubis right now. So Anubis is a card of protection. So this could either be a person in your life who is very protective of you, or you could be protecting yourself. I feel like this is somebody who may be protecting themselves in terms of relationships. Like you may be somebody who is reluctant to, maybe you're single right now and you're perfectly happy being that way. Or you just feel like you need protection either from somebody you're in a relationship with or from a relationship. It can go one way or the other. So take it as it resonates. Now with the 3 of Cups, again, 3 of Cups has this idea of celebration that we see over here. So it could be the idea of getting out, socializing, spending more time, or trying to spend time with somebody, with loved ones, maybe not worrying so much about protection. There definitely seems to be the idea here that you are protected. So, you may not need to worry. 3 of Cups for some people in a relationship can also indicate a third party. So there could be, there could be multiple people involved in a relationship situation. Or there could also be a reconciliation that's coming up with somebody as well, because 3 of Cups sometimes indicates a reconciliation. But I feel like with Bastet over here in the 5th house, this may just be the idea of kind of needing to relax, not be so focused on, always having to do things to make money, or, so overly career focused that you're not getting out there and spending time, trying to build your potential for partnerships or build your potential for relationships here. So that is the 7th house. Our 8th house is Scorpio, and Scorpio has to do with life, death, transformation, other people's money. Yeah, Four of Swords here with the Buckle of Isis. There could be there's this definitely this sense of taking time out for healing, of giving. And Buckle of Isis says something that you give up is going to benefit you. So again, I feel like in this particular house, something has been coming to an end. Something that has been perhaps causing you to withdraw and reflect. Perhaps that may be affecting your physical health or your mental health. This is definitely a sense here that you need to give something up at this point in time. And that will be something that is, again, even if it seems like a loss at this moment, it is going to be, when you make the decision about what you're not going to keep here, you're going to find that it's going to open up the door to some other kind of a benefit. Okay, we have ninth house is Sagittarius energy, and we have Horus with the Knight of Wands. Now, this is a house having to do with higher ed. It has to do with higher ed, travel, and also our life philosophy and so forth. Knight of Rods can definitely indicate a trip or travel of some kind. And with Horus, this could be something dealing with family or friends. It feels to me like there's a trip, there's a trip in this for somebody. But certainly there seems to be this need to take a distance from something or get away, to have some time to heal. Knight of Wands, if you're not traveling, can also just mean that you need to think very carefully about something, okay? Don't rush into something. You don't, we could be ready to charge ahead with something, and we need to make sure we're taking time out to think, make sure that we're healed before we move on. 10th house is Capricorn energy, so this will have to do with our career, how we make our way in the world, our reputation, sometimes the father as well. And you have Nephthys here, so there may be information that you're waiting for that has not come about yet. This is always kind of a not yet card, and it kind of shows something, things that are obscured. So this does suggest that you may not have all the information yet about a career situation. So not to worry. You have it with the High Priestess too. It's the same thing. High Priestess is exactly the same energy as this card. And it's this idea of something that is veiled, something that is hidden and has not been revealed yet. So I think if you are looking to make big changes to your career or re-strategizing about how you're doing things, there's some information that's going to come in. There's just something you don't know yet. So you may need to be patient and wait for that information to come in. The 11th house is Aquarius and Aquarius energy. This has to do with our networks, with the people we know, our friends, our hopes and wishes. And you have water here. And water indicates the need for change. I mean, this is definitely a strong emotional portent too. There may be a desire for emotional connectivity. There could be emotional connectivity with a friend, or there could just be, movement and change in terms of your relationships and who you know. But you have it with the Star. And the Star is great because the Star is a card of wish fulfillment in the House of Wishes. So it seems to me like as you're making these changes and as you're willing to reprioritize and give certain things up, that you may be on the road to getting something that you have really desired. Then we have the 12th house, which is Pisces energy. And Pisces this has to do with what's unconscious, what we're afraid of, what's hidden, like the deeper imagination, the stuff that we don't show to people. And you have Crook and Flail. So your self-confidence may be at an issue here. You may be feeling a little bit of self-doubt about something, or you may feel that you need some more self-discipline, that maybe you're not doing as much or taking care of yourself the way you want to. And you have it with the Queen of Wands. So this could literally be a fear of a particular person, but this is somebody. Queen of Wands is somebody who's very, very fiery. She tends to be somebody that people either really like or don't like. Of course, Queen of Rods, that is definitely Aries energy, and this is an Aries reading. So there just seems to be somebody perhaps who perhaps is very fiery. Maybe there's some hidden feelings for this person or about this person, or maybe concerns around this person. Maybe this person helps you, affects your self-confidence. The Queen of Wands can also be you. Maybe you're afraid of asserting yourself or getting out there, or maybe wanting to appear too assertive in some way. But this is in the House of Fears. So the overall message there is that you really do need to be confident in yourself and step into your own authentic being and into your own power. Overall, we have Isis here, which is the idea of moving along patiently. Again, this is a card of nurturing something, often waiting for things to manifest. And we have it with the Ten of Pentacles, which is excellent. The Ten of Pentacles is a card of this is a card of legacy, of inheritance. It's a family card. It's a card that has to do with achieving what you want in terms of community, home, family, maybe even marriage for some people. So this is definitely a card of security and completion at the highest level. So this all looks very good this week. Overall, I would just say that the message is, worry about taking care of yourself. Don't be so bent on what you need to do to make money, and focus a little bit more on what you need to do for your leisure time, and how you want to how you can take care of yourself, how you can enjoy yourself and spend time out more with people, rather than sort of kind of locking yourself away here and getting yourself all busy with a lot of these financial things. Your own personal well-being is really what the priority is this week. Thanks so much for watching, and until next week.